I open my eyes, confused by all the laughter surrounding me. As I find my bearings, it doesn't take long for my situation to come flooding back to me. I'm on a stage and the crowd in front of me is in hysterical laughter. I entered my first rap battle and was so nervous, I fainted right there on stage before saying my opening line. Full of shame and utterly humiliated, I storm off the stage and out the door. I decided to take the 30-minute walk back to my apartment instead of an Uber to reflect on what went wrong. I'm a talented rapper when it's just me, and I'm not performing in front of a crowd. I'm not saying that because I'm full of myself. This confidence comes from the feedback I get online. I post my raps under a fake profile and get great responses. The critics say my flow is elite, and I put all my pain and emotion into my bars. The bars you can feel in your soul, they sting like a bullet ant. The bullet ant's sting is described as a pure, intense, brilliant pain. As you can see from the bullet ant line, I don't shy away from being corny in my lyrics. When I arrived at my home, the first thing I do is update my social media status. I would do anything if I could rap in front of a live audience, like I do in the comfort of my home for you guys. Thanks for being there for me. I hit tweet to complete the status update. I then close my laptop and try to get some sleep. A beam of light shining in through the window directly onto my face wakes me in the next morning. I open my laptop and boot it up. I make a pot of coffee while I wait. Lots of positive comments on my status, boosting my confidence. I noticed I had a personal message from a guy that said he could help with my anxiety. It read, "I can help you with your anxiety problem. It's my specialty. Bring me a bottle of rum, and the first visit is on me." He then left an address. I googled the address, and it seemed to check out as a legit therapist. I would try anything to overcome this fear and show the world my talent. I'm headed to a liquor store right now. I respond, "Come around 8 o'clock. You'll be my last patient of the day." He wrote back. I wasn't expecting an immediate response. I thought 8 seemed kind of late, but I was also paying with a bottle of rum. I assumed only clients that pay with money got the luxury of convenient hours. I passed the day by playing Call of Duty and watching reaction videos to my latest rap song. Hopefully soon, people can see the face behind the songs they love so much. If on rare occasions I make a video with a song, I wear a white mask with the lips sewn together and a green spiked mohawk. Time seems to pass quickly before I find myself in an Uber, headed towards the therapy office. I twist the door handle to the office and walk in. Nothing extraordinary. Dark red wallpaper with gold designs. Chairs line the wall for waiting patients. A sliding window where the receptionist should have been. The building seems to be empty. "Hello?" I say aloud in hopes of alerting someone of my arrival. "I'm here for a therapy session." I awkwardly stand in the middle of the waiting room for a minute or two. It seems obvious now the doctor forgot I was coming and left for the night. I turn and walk to the exit. I'll just message him when I get home and set up another appointment. Before I get to the door, the lights begin to flicker. I hesitate at this, and after a couple of seconds the lights go completely out. The darkness is thick and has a heavy feeling like I'm wrapped in a weighted blanket. The lights spring back to life after a few seconds. An ominous feeling hits me like a ton of bricks. "Sorry I'm late." A deep voice comes from behind me. I spin around to find a tall black man standing in the same spot I had just been in the middle of the waiting room. He was thin and wore a finely tailored suit. It had stripes with the double G Gucci logo, breaking up the stripes every so often. "You must be Josh. I'm Dr. Samadi. You can call me Baron." A smile spreads across his face. My YouTube personality is Twisted J. Did I tell him my real name? I must have, just don't recall doing it. I hand him the bottle of rum and raise my arm for a handshake. "Nice to meet you, Baron. I'm excited to see how this goes." His handshake is firm for such a skinny guy. "Step into my office." Baron says as he leads me out of the waiting room, down a hallway, and into a room that consists of nothing but a desk and 2 chairs. He takes a seat behind the desk and gestures for me to sit in the chair directly in front of him. Last night you mentioned you would give anything to lose the crippling anxiety that affects your performances when you're in front of a crowd. Is that still true? Anything. I respond without having to think twice about it. Baron leans forward, putting his hands together and interlocking his fingers as he places them on the desk. What about your soul? I let out a laugh in response before I notice that he isn't laughing. He sits behind the desk with an unchanged expression on his face. Either he is serious, or he has an odd sense of humor. He pulls a piece of paper out of his drawer, places it on the desk, and with one bony finger, slides it my way. Wow, you're serious, aren't you? Sign your name, and the treatment will begin. Baron says as he extends a pen my way. With the belief that my soul was in no way in jeopardy, and this was some kind of weird way Baron goes about things, I take the pen and sign my name. Let's seal it with a handshake. Baron extends his open palm my way, and I firmly grip it to seal the deal. The lights flicker off again, only for a second, but when they come back, 12 hooded figures are standing in a circle around the desk. Baron is now wearing a top hat lined with the bones of what look to be small animals. A white skull is painted on his face. His suit is now unbuttoned, showing his chest and abdomen. He pours a glass of rum and lights a cigar. We are still in the same room, but I look out the window. A city landscape has turned to a lake of molten lava. Screams of pain can be heard from outside the room. Is that hell? Baron interrupts. Why, yes, it is, Josh. And this is my little corner office. I scan the room once more. There is now a large furnace where the door I entered through used to be. All at once, the hooded figures grab me. I try to fight back, but I can't move no matter how hard I try. I'm utterly helpless as they drag me to a coffin that sits in front of the furnace and toss me in. Baron looms over me. He ashes his cigar in my face. It burns slightly, but I can't brush it away, as I'm a prisoner trapped in my body. He pulls a knife from his pocket, and with the flick of his wrist, the blade flips open. He slides the edge over my wrist, opening up a deep gash. One of the hooded figures, I can see they are just skeletons wearing black robes, gives me a cup, and he drains as much blood into it as he can. He then repeats his process with the other wrist. Baron dips his finger in the cup of blood and uses it to draw symbols on the palms of my hands. He pours a generous amount of rum into the cup with blood. Baron swishes around the glass before downing it in one gulp. He then tosses the glass, breaking it as it hits the floor. Baron shuts the coffin lid and shoves me into the blazing furnace. I'm still not able to move, but that doesn't stop me from screaming, caused by the excruciating pain from the flames enveloping my body. Soon the pain stops, and I assume the next step is death, which I have now embraced. But death doesn't come. The coffin is removed from the furnace, and the lid opened. I raise my arms and look them over. Not as much as a sunburn on my body, other than the symbols drawn in my hand by blood, are now burnt permanently into my palms. Baron grabs my hand and pulls me up out of the coffin. Congrats. You're cured, he said with the cigar hanging out the side of his mouth. How? Is all I can manage to say. By signing that contract, not only did you sell me your soul, you allowed Belith to possess your body. He will take over when your anxiety hits. Belith feeds off the crowd you fear so much, and he's a musical genius. Your music career will soar to heights you would have never imagined. I stare at the scars on my shaking hands. Can't believe what's happening right now. This has to be a dream, but the pain I've felt has been so real. What about? I stammer, trying to get the words out with my trembling voice. Damn it, boy, Baron interrupts. How much more clear could I have made that? You're in complete control until your anxiety takes hold. Then Belith takes over. I fulfilled my end of the bargain. Thanks for the rum, by the way. I'm through with you. Be gone, boy. With those last words, Baron snaps his fingers, and I fade into darkness. I open my eyes and peer around to check out my surroundings. Thank God I'm in my room. It was a crazy dream. That notion being torn to shreds after looking at my palms and seeing those damn symbols still burned into them. One Google search of Belith, the demon that now inhabits my body. I immediately recognized the seal of Belith as the symbols on my hands. A ding comes from my phone, indicating a message. It was from an unknown number. The message read, "The music hall a few blocks away from you is hosting a rap battle tonight. I expect to see you there." I knew precisely the event Baron was talking about. I had planned on attending as a spectator. I guess I'll test out this new ability of mine. I'm used to fighting my demons. I think tonight, I'm letting one out. Nothing of interest happened for the rest of the day leading up to me going to the music hall. I'm at the bar taking a few shots of cheap whiskey to calm my nerves. I'm not scared of the crowd this time. I'm afraid of the unknown. I don't know how this will work or how it will go. The DJ just called Twisted J to the stage. I take one last shot before I walk to the steps leading up to the stage. I slowly walk up the steps, cross the stage, and stare down my opponent. I stand there listening to the DJ hype up the crowd. My knees are weak and my palms are sweaty. I quickly swallow the vomit that is rising in my throat and into my mouth. Fuck. This experience is turning into an Eminem song. The DJ drops the beat, and my opponent begins. He's okay, mostly just bragging about the money and women he most likely doesn't have. Throws a few insults my way. His flow is subpar at best. He gets a few oohs from the crowds with some overplayed punchlines. Then he finishes, and it's my turn. I take a deep breath. The beat drops, and I'm ejected from my own body. I'm now a specter floating above the crowd watching myself. No, not myself. Belith. The punchlines are heavy and seem to be very personal. Things I would never know about my opponent. I notice my eyes start to glow purple. Then I notice my opponent is starting to bleed from the eyes. He seems to be in a lot of pain, but unable to move. He falls to the floor and starts convulsing right there on the stage. Foam starts protruding from his mouth before he finally stops moving altogether. I look around panicked but unable to do anything as I'm just a projection of myself hovering, watching Belith kill someone in front of 200 people. But the crowd doesn't seem to care. They continue to cheer and applaud as Belith spits out bar after bar. For a moment, I forget about the dead guy on stage and get lost in his lyrics. Chill bumps cover my specter body, and I feel nothing but pure bliss. The DJ is also bleeding from his eyes, but he continues to smile and lets the beat play. Belith then turns to the crowd and unleashes a fast flow. He had intertwined his vocals with the beat to a point where the two became inseparable. The crowd was loving it, still completely ignoring the dead guy on stage. Belith's lyrics were straight fire. I mean, literal fire. With each word, the fire would come out of his mouth like a flamethrower. He then started floating like a dragon, spitting flames over the crowd of people in attendance. The smell of burning flesh from hundreds of people is something I'll never forget. The most traumatizing part? The crowd never stopped cheering and applauding him until they were nothing more than ashes on the floor. Belith looked at me and smiled before my spectral self was sucked back into my body. I look over what used to be the crowd in pure shock. The building wasn't immune to the flames. It had caught fire, and it was spreading fast. I found an old sewing kit in one of the dressing rooms. I took it to the bathroom and was now in front of the mirror, sewing my lips together as the building burned to the ground around me. I can't rap if I can't open my mouth. I may have screwed up and let Belith in, but I didn't have to let him out anymore. If I can help it, Belith will hurt no one else. Now, to find out how to reverse this and hopefully get my soul back. As this thought enters my mind, I can hear the familiar, mocking laugh of Baron in the distance.